In today's session, we are interested to explore the deposit facilities provided by Islamic financial institutions, including Islamic banks, financial institutions which are compliant with Sharia, and any other depository institutions who have the right to collect deposits and who are authorized to collect deposits from the bank regulatory authority. So what is special regarding deposit facilities in Islamic banks or Islamic financial institutions? You are very familiar with the purpose of deposit. So any financial institution or the financial system as a whole is works for transferring the funds from the deficit unit, from the surplus unit to the deficit units. So it is the main purpose of financial system. So surplus units keep or save their money through deposit accounts. So there is basically no legal difference between Islamic deposit and conventional deposit. So in which points they are indifferent. Say you are a depositor, you have kept some of your money either in an Islamic bank or in a conventional bank. Both deposits will be considered as liability for the banks. There is no difference. And it is the asset for depositor, I mean you. So in that case, there is no difference. So you have kept trust on the depository institution to look after the money you have maintained with the financial institution. So in such issues, there is no difference between a conventional deposit and Islamic deposit. And one thing is also common in conventional deposit and also Islamic deposit, that depositor keep trust. Depositor keep trust on the depository institution, and depository institution has the responsibility which comes from the trust, and there should not be any kind of breach on the trust. So this trust is very popular in the banking system and also in financial system as a whole. And the meaning of trust in Islam is amana. So depositors keep their deposit as amana to the depository institutions, and from this amana word and from this concept, HSBC has given their name of subsidiary which is engaged with providing Islamic financial services. That subsidiary is known as Amana. You probably learned a few years ago that Bangladesh, HSBC Bangladesh launched their Amana product. I mean the Islamic finance product in Bangladesh. But for no reason or for unexplained reason, they stopped operation of Amana in Bangladesh. However, they are still still have kept their Amana operation open in few countries where Islamic finance and Islamic banking is very popular. I believe in UK and in Kuwait, still HSBC offers their Amana product. Okay, so remember, Amana is a concept which indicates trust, and this is one of the basic principles of Islamic deposit, and which reflects the trust of conventional banking system. Now the question is, why we need Islamic deposit? You are a pious Muslim, or you want to follow the Sharia. You want to follow the Sharia. So why you need Islamic deposit account? Many of us maintain our account with conventional banks, and as long as we want to comply with the Sharia, we want to avoid accepting interest accrued on our account by not accepting interest or by stopping interest payment on our account, or by opening interest-free current account in a conventional bank. We believe that we have become Sharia compliant by not accepting interest, though we are maintaining our account with conventional banks which regularly deals or which regularly deal with interest bearing loan. Now the question is, will it be considered as a halal deposit when you are maintaining a deposit in a conventional bank which is dealing with interest involving activities or riba-based activities, and we are maintaining a deposit with them, and will it be considered as halal deposit? This is the question. Now the answer depends on the situation. The situation number one, if we do not have any Islamic deposit facilities, if we do not have Islamic deposit facilities, I mean there is no financial institution which is Sharia compliant, which offers Sharia compliant deposit account. In that case, maintaining deposit account in a conventional bank by stopping interest amount is acceptable in Sharia. This is not acceptable in Sharia that I have maintained or I'm maintaining a deposit account in a conventional bank and I'm also accepting interest on that account, and there is no presence of Sharia compliant deposit account in my territory. Okay, this is the situation number one. Situation number two, if we have any Islamic deposit facilities, I mean there is a presence of Sharia compliant financial institution, Sharia compliant banks which are offering Sharia compliant deposit facilities. In that case, it will not be permissible in Sharia to keep or to maintain an account with conventional bank. Now the follow-up question is why? Okay, there is Sharia compliant bank, but I'm maintaining my account with a conventional bank, but I have asked the bank manager that I'm not interested to accept the interest. So stop the payment of interest on my account with your bank. I have mentioned this to a conventional bank manager. So what is the problem with this? The problem is that conventional bank will accept your deposit. They will be very happy when you will ask them not to pay interest because you have contributed to reduce the expenses. But accepting your deposit, they will use your fund to provide interest bearing loan. So taking your money, they are getting engaged with interest involving activities. So in turn, we are contributing conventional banks to do riba-based activities using our money. Hence, it is not permissible to maintain a deposit account with a conventional bank when there is a facility from the Sharia compliant bank or Sharia compliant financial institution. What kind of facility? A facility of Sharia compliant deposit or Islamic deposit. So I believe you have got the point. Now, the question is, what's wrong if we use cash instead of account, instead of maintaining account? In the context of present situation, it is not welcoming, and it is not a good decision because we are getting entered into an economy which is going to become a cashless economy. So there is no solution such that we will maintain cash always with us to avoid the accounts in conventional bank. Now the question is, what will we do if my employer requires that I maintain or I open an account with a conventional bank? In that case, the obligation and it will not be, I mean, there is no discretion. There is no discretion for myself or for the employees to open an account in Islamic bank. In that case, it will be the employer's responsibility according to Sharia. So in that case, you have no choice. But if you have choice, or if employee has choice, in that case, it is advisable according to Sharia that open an account with Islamic bank through Islamic, take a Islamic deposit account. Okay, so this is the recommendation for pious Muslim. This is not a recommendation for all, or this is a recommendation for an individual who wants to get compliant with the Sharia. So this is the recommendation from Sharia. Now, thing is that why you will be motivated to open accounts with the Sharia compliant banks. So you have got one motivation already, that you are not contributing any conventional bank to engage in deposit in any riba-based activities by keeping your deposit with themselves. So this is one of the motivations to people. And what are the other motivations? So before looking at the other motivations, let me briefly review what are the contents we are going to cover in today's lecture. First of all, we will try to see the facilities provided by current account in Islamic bank. and what are the facilities Islamic banks can provide to the depositors, and what is about the savings account in Islamic banks, what are the treasury deposits. One caveat here is that treasury deposit is very, very uncommon in conventional banks and also in Islamic banks in our country, and in also other countries, but you'll see these accounts are common in some countries. Okay, so we'll see what is about the treasury deposit later. And what is about the savings and investment accounts available in Islamic banks and financial institutions. And one of the most popular savings and investment account type is maintaining Mudraba deposit account, and also maintaining investment account through Mudraba mechanism. Okay, so before going to explore the detailed contents of each of the deposit facilities, let me give you a brief hint of the deposits and deposit accounts provided or offered by the Islamic banks. And like conventional banks, Islamic banks also provide current accounts, and in general there is no return, and the return is nothing for maintaining a current account with Islamic banks, and this is very common to conventional bank, but uncommon in some aspects, where with conventional banks there is a one category of current account which provides minimum amount of interest payment. Okay, and usually the purpose of maintaining current account is not keeping savings or making money, making a return out of the deposits. Rather, it facilitates the payment services. So one of the very primary purposes of maintaining a current account is to get facility of payment services all time. And there is a guarantee that if you keep 1,000 taka deposit in a current account in Islamic bank, there is a guarantee from the Islamic bank that 1,000 taka will be refunded to you. This is a kind of amana. This is kind of amanat. I will mention it later. And the second thing we'll explore, that is here we are mentioning as investment, but it also includes the savings, and the return of savings or investment account in Islamic bank is supposed to be variable. There is no space that it will be constant and the percentage of return will be fixed, and it is purely variable. And the benefit is that the profit will be shared according to the contract. Profit will be shared between Rab al-Mal and Mudarib. I'll mention later who is Rab al-Mal or who is Mudarib, and profit can also be shareable among the shirk, I mean in Musharaka account. And there is no guarantee that you have kept 5,000 taka deposit in Mudraba, say Mudraba investment account. There is no guarantee that you will get your 5,000 taka back. It can be 3,000 taka with 2,000 taka loss, or it can be 7,000 taka with 2,000 taka gain from the investment. And in Treasury, the return is fixed. May make some confusions to you how treasury account provide fixed return to the Islamic depositors. The way to solve confusion is that the profit sharing proportion and profit sharing proportion will remain fixed, and how much profit will be shareable, that will remain fixed in treasury account. And it is basically based on doing business, simply based on buying goods at a lower price and selling goods at a higher price. And Islamic banks provide a kind of guarantee that I will try to sell the product at this price, and if things go well, Islamic banks can earn the mentioned profit. But if things go in wrong direction, in that case, the treasury account deposit will be immediately refunded to the depositor. In this way, this account operates, and there is a guarantee of getting your capital. So it is not a kind of current account, or it is not a kind of investment or savings account. It is a kind of treasury account. It actually matures between 30 days to 90 days. We'll try to have a look on treasury deposits in later of our today's class. So let's look at the rationale for current account. And I already mentioned one holistic purposes of maintaining a current account is that it helps us to facilitate us to get the financial transactions done. I mean, it provides us the payment facilities. And some people may think of some people believe that bank is altogether not permissible in Sharia. So rather than keeping my money in bank account, let's keep all of my money under the mattress to make it Sharia compliant. So this is not a recommended way. This is not recommended way when there is a presence of Sharia compliant institution. So by maintaining a current account in an Islamic bank, what those people can do, those people can avoid holding notes and coins which are inconvenient to hold. And you probably have come to learn that how unhygienic the physical notes can be. And you can also avoid the risk of getting your money stolen by thief. And what are other facilities provided by account is that when there is a account, we can regularly monitor that what is going on in my cash balance, and later I can check the record that in which ways I spend my money. And there is no scope to get habituated with cash and coin because most of the employees, except some low wage based jobs, require a bank account from their employees. So if we maintain the current account deposit with Islamic banks, what facilities we can accept, or we can expect? So it is a kind of demand deposit because whenever you demand the deposits, Islamic bank will be responsible to return your money, and this account is the amount of money is regularly withdrawn with no notice, and it is also withdrawn several times on a day. There is no restriction. That's why the velocity, you know the concept of velocity from your microeconomics text. So the velocity of current account is expected to be very high. So when Islamic banks offer current account to the depositors, for which reason they will be encouraged to open a current account with Islamic bank? So one of the very obvious reasons I already have mentioned, that they can avoid the riba-based financing because they are aware that their deposits, if these are maintained with conventional bank, it will be used for riba-based financing. But if we maintain the deposit in a riba-free bank or interest-free bank or Sharia compliant bank, in that case, our money will not be used for riba-based financing. Okay, but if the Muslim is not pious, or remember the first misconception from the first class that I mentioned, that Islamic finance is not only for Muslims, it is for all. Anyone from any religion who wants to accept or who wants to follow the Sharia in his or her financial dealings, he or she is welcomed in the Islamic banks or Islamic financial institutions. So in that case, you cannot convince that person that you can avoid the riba-based financing by maintaining deposit account with us. That may not be sufficient, that they will be happy to keep their deposit with you. So what can we do as an Islamic banker or Islamic financial institution executives? So one thing we need to do, that we have to make sure the facilities which are provided by the conventional current accounts need to be provided to the Islamic current account holders. So these facilities are also available in Islamic conventional banks. So what can we do? We can provide debit card for ATM cash withdrawal, and we can also enable the debit card of Islamic bank for the purpose of POS purchase. You know the concept of point of sale. You see some POS machines in shops which accept the digital payment. So when you have the account with Islamic bank, Islamic bankers need to make sure that customers have the access to pay using the point of sale with their Islamic bank card. And checkbook is also to be provided. And there are facilities which are also available in conventional account. It needs to be provided, that standing order and direct debit. Say a specific amount of money will be debited monthly from your account to the accounts of your children's school. In that case, it is a kind of standing order instruction for debiting your account. And you know that Islamic financial institutions have penetrated in the Gulf countries, which are mostly Muslim countries, and there are a number of people who are migrants and who work there, and they remit their money to their own country, to their home country, and they need to have some remittance, transferring money to their country, they need such facility. And usually there are two ways to transfer the money from the Gulf countries to their home country. So what remitter can do? Remitter can use the money exchange, or remitter can use the bank exchange. These are the official system. I do not mention about the unofficial system, unofficial money transfer. So in official system, there is a money exchange and there is a bank transfer. Okay. Now, thing is that current account needs to have online payment facility to transfer their fund domestically and also for internationally, so that customer and also employees who have the accounts in Islamic banks in these countries, they can feel privileged by transferring their earned money to their parents or to their families by using the online fund transfer facilities provided by the Islamic banks. And remember, these are not very unique. In case of Islamic banks, these are also available in conventional banks. So one of the very different motivations, what I mentioned earlier, that is very unique, that if we need to practice Sharia, in that case, we need to maintain our account with the Sharia compliant bank. Okay. So if you look at the facilities provided by some Islamic banks in our country or in Islamic countries, you'll see that the facilities what I mentioned are mostly common in their current account. So what can you do? You can look at the current account of the Islamic banks. One thing we like to highlight that overdraft facilities in conventional bank. So what is overdraft? I am confident that many of you are familiar with the overdraft facilities. So if you have the deposits of say £100, in that case, bank will give you the authority that you can withdraw £110 from your account. So from where this additional £10 has come into your account, how can you withdraw this? This facility is known as overdraft. You can withdraw an amount of money offered by your bank, which is in excess of the deposit account, which is in excess of the amount kept in a deposit. Now, this is a kind of benefit. It helps you to finance your need. Now, what are the issues for which it contradicts with the Sharia compliance? The issue is that bank will charge interest for providing you the overdraft facilities. When you are withdrawing £10 extra, an amount will be charged on that with additional withdrawal amount, which is beyond your deposit amount. And that amount is interest. And there is no space in Sharia that you can charge interest on the money which has been taken from you or which has been borrowed from you. So Islamic banks cannot provide such overdraft facilities. So This is one issue. And what are the basic principles of Islamic current account? You see under the designation heading that this is a kind of Qard Hasan. So why it is kind of Qard Hasan? The answer is that it is a kind of Qard Hasan because when you are providing your deposit to an Islamic bank through current account, you as a depositor, as long as you are Sharia compliant, you expect no benefit from that deposit. So it is a kind of interest-free loan. You are providing interest-free loan to your bank, and you expect that your bank will return you the money whenever you need this money. So this is a kind of Qard Hasan. It is similar to Qard Hasan, but it is not actually you are helping the bank to get money for solving problem. You know the holistic concept of Qard Hasan. You expect no benefit, and pure Qard Hasan is that you expect no return of the principal. But that Qard Hasan we are not mentioning here. You expect the refund of your principal, but you expect no benefit out of the loan you have provided to the bank in the form of current account. And second thing, amana, I already mentioned in the very beginning of our today's lecture that when you are keeping the deposit with the Islamic bank has the principle of respecting the amana or respecting the trust the depositor has kept on the bank. So this amana is very crucial because based on this, the whole banking system or whole financial system stands on it. And Wadia custodian deposit. Wadia custodian deposit is one of the very foundational principles of Islamic deposit. Is that you are making an agreement with the depositor that whenever this amount will be called on by the depositor, you will return this amount, and you will not be involving any kind of negligence for which the customer will lose their deposit money. So this is a kind of wada, and we have heard about the wada in our terms, but this is based on wadia. And this kind of current account funds needs to be maintained separately, and it cannot be used for any purposes which is Sharia incompliant, Now, in terms of benefit, what benefits you will get? Yeah, in earlier slide, we have seen some motivations for which the depositors will be interested to maintain account with the Islamic bank. Now, what are the returns depositors can expect by maintaining current account in Islamic bank? The plain vanilla answer is that there is no financial return. There is no monetary benefit in exchange for keeping a current account in Islamic bank. Now, what is the alternative way the bank can help or bank can encourage the customers? The answer is that some qualitative benefits can be provided to the Islamic bank current account holders. And what kind of qualitative benefits Islamic banks can provide to their customers for maintaining current account with them? The answer is that the facilities what we mentioned earlier in the current account provided by any bank or also Islamic bank are kind of qualitative benefits, and to some extent some benefits can be more compared to conventional banks in case of Islamic banks. So some more benefits, more qualitative benefits can be provided. And what can you do? You can explore what are the qualitative benefits Islamic banks offer to their current account holders and conventional bank offers to their current account holders. So if you see anything extra, in that case, for that reason, it may be sufficient for you to get to switch to the deposit account of Islamic banks. And Islamic current accounts also can also provide some debit card or some card facilities to you. And some people in some countries or in most of the countries nowadays, card is used frequently for making transactions. But what is the Sharia issues in case of using card? The answer is that the people can use card for making any payment. But what Islamic banks can do, Islamic banks can restrict payment facilities from their card to some payment which are made in some fields which are not Sharia compliant. Say some people may use the Islamic bank's debit card in pubs or in betting shops or in entertainment services. In such cases, Islamic banks can monitor the transactions of customer, and also Islamic banks can restrict payment to some facilities or some fields which are not compliant, which are not permissible in Sharia. So next we will see the savings deposits. And savings deposit is a very common and it is more common in conventional bank and also common among us. If we are out of we 9 people, I believe that 7 of us have the savings account instead of the current account or fixed deposit account or in any other type of account. So savings account is such common thing. Now the answer is that here people have expectation that they want to save their money. They want to save their money. They do not have the purpose that they will use this money for the purpose of facilitating payment in a frequently, or they do not have the expectation that they'll make a hefty amount of return out of it. Their purpose is to make savings for a specific time period. And in conventional banks, there is a interplay of many variables which determine the interest rate in savings deposit. So such variables you are with such variables you are familiar from your financial markets and institution course. The interest rate is set based on the expectation of bank for profitable use, and it also depends on how strict or how flexible or how high the call money market or interbank market is, and it also depends on the funding cost from the central bank, and it also depends on the competitiveness in the market, and the interest rate available from the savings account varies. It may be fixed or it may be variable, and or it may be linked to some reference rate that I will pay lever rate plus 2% on your deposit. So in this way, the conventional savings account operates. And now the question, so traditional savings account are not available in conventional account, in Islamic banks. The question is why? The answer is that people expect some return by keeping their money idle in banks without taking any kind of risk, without any exposure to the risk. And such kind of facilities cannot be provided by Islamic banks. Islamic banks reward people for for making exposure to the risk. And Islamic banks can generate return by making people exposed to the risk. There is no space in Islamic banks that without exposing customers to the risk, they can make some fixed payment to the customers. So hence the savings deposit, traditional savings deposit is not available in Islamic banks. Rather, most of the deposits you will see in the website of the Islamic banks, they mention that their accounts are investment accounts. Their accounts are investment accounts. So, and when there is investment accounts, what kind of characteristics they hold? So there is a characteristics that there will be the profit from the investment will be shared. Profit from the investment will be shared. So how profit will be shared? Now, one very common structure of investment deposit is Mudraba investment deposit. Mudraba investment deposit. So let me give you a very brief idea of Mudraba contract. I'm very confident that at least some of us in class are familiar with such kind of deposit. Okay. So there are in basic form there are two parties in Mudraba deposit. So one party will provide a fund, or one party will provide money, and another party will provide his skills, his knowledge, or his capacity. I mean, not the financial capacity, rather I would say the qualitative aspect of capacity. So the person who will provide the fund is known as traditionally known as financier. Yeah, it is the traditional way of defining that person. But what is the Islamic way of defining that person? The person who provides the fund. His name is Rab al Mal. Okay, who is this person? The person who provides the expertise, knowledge, or the person who provides fund? What I have mentioned, who is Rab al Mal? I'm asking question. Anyone? By Rab al Mal, which entity I have mentioned? You there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Rabal Mal is the person who provides the expertise or the knowledge.
Sorry, I can't accept your answer. Okay, I mentioned that Rab al Mal is the person who is the financier, who provides the fund.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay, okay,
Okay, sir.
okay. So you see the Mal here indicates the fund. Okay, and the person or entity which provides money, which provides finance, is known as Rab al Mal in Islamic terms. Okay, okay. There is another person who provides the entrepreneurship skill. That person is Mudarib, according to Islamic term. Okay, that person is Mudarib. So we have got two parties, and we have learned who contributes what. Mudarib contributes what?
Mudraba provides entrepreneurship.
Mudarib provides entrepreneurship.
Mudraba provides entrepreneurship facilities or providing any decision regarding entrepreneurship.
Okay, fine. Okay, so both party will make a contract, and both party will make a contract for making a business, for engaging in a profit generating activity. So say that activity is X. That activity is X. Now say X has made a profit of 2000 taka. In that case, how this 2000 taka will be shared between Rab al Mal and Mudarib? What do you expect? I'm not giving you the answer. I'm just expecting from you. What would you think, or what do you think, or what would happen? What kind of, in which kind of way this 2000 taka can be distributed between these two entities? You see, the contribution of Mudarib cannot be defined in quantitative terms, right? It is very easier defining the qualitative contribution of Mudarib in quantitative terms or money. Is it easy?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So what can happen? Say they can make a agreement based on a ratio, say 50%, 50%. Okay, so in that case, in this case, they will make this profit allocated between them. 50%, 1000 will be given to Rab al Mal and 1000 will be given to Mudarib. Now next thing, if it happens that instead of making 2000 profit, or sorry, not instead of making 2000 profit, say in next year, the business has incurred a loss of 100 taka, the X business. In that case, how can it be allocated between these two entities? Now the answer is this 100 taka loss will be solely borne by Rabal Mal, and this 100 taka financial loss will not be borne by Mudarib. Now the big question is how Mudarib is contributing to the loss, or I mean how Mudarib is how Mudarib is getting loser for this loss. You might think that Mudarib is losing nothing. The answer is no, Mudarib is losing something. How Mudarib is losing something? Say Mudarib has provided his entrepreneurship skills. Mudarib has provided his effort in this business, but Mudarib is getting no return. Mudarib is getting no return. See, Mudarib has already provided entrepreneurship skills. Mudarib has provided his time, his effort. Remember, Rabal Mal has not provided anything like entrepreneurship skills, managerial time, effort, these things. Who provided these things? Mudarib provided these things. So for providing these things, Mudarib is getting nothing. So that getting nothing is equal to the loss incurred by the Mudarib. Am I clear to you? The concept of Mudraba.
Sir, Mudarib's loss is one type of opportunity cost or anything, sir, like this?
You can think of opportunity cost. You can think of opportunity cost. But yeah, you see that instead of using his effort or entrepreneurship skills in such loss-making activity, if he could provide that entrepreneurship skills which would generate profit, he would get those benefits, but here he is getting nothing. That is the loss, or that you are defining as opportunity cost to Mudarib. Okay. Now thing is that how this deposit can be classified. The answer is that it can be classified simply in unrestricted or restricted. Now, when we are mentioning it is unrestricted Mudaraba deposits, what we are mentioning here specifically? The answer is that when it is unrestricted Mudaraba deposit, the bank or the Mudarib, you see who is the, if we mention, say, say Mr. J is a depositor in Islamic bank, and say entity I is a Islamic bank. Now, can you help me to identify who is Rabal Mal and who is Mudarib here in a Mudaraba deposit agreement?
Sir, Mudaraba is a financier. Sorry, Rabal Mal is a financier, and
Who is the
Mudaraba is
financier here? Who is the financier here?
a Rabal Mal, sir.
Who is the Rabal Mal here? I have given you two options. One is depositor, another one is Islamic bank. I have not given you the option. I have given you two options and ask you to identify who is Rabal Mal and who is Mudarib.
So depositor is the Rabal Mal, and
The depositor is Rabal Mal. Islamic Bank is um, so next term, sir.
Mudraba.
Mudarib.
Mudarib ji.
Mudarib. Okay, thanks. Exactly. Okay. So don't get confused. Don't get confused. Sometimes I might pronounce wrong, but you will try to correct me. What we have learned so far, or what we have discussed in last couple of minutes, is about Mudaraba. Okay. You will see later I will be discussing about Murabaha. I will be discussing about Musharaka. So don't get confused among these terms. Okay. So have we got the concept of Mudaraba? Okay. Now the answer, the issue is, what is about unrestricted Mudaraba deposit, or what is about restricted Mudaraba deposit? The issue is that in case of unrestricted Mudaraba deposit, the Islamic bank or the Mudarib is free. Free for what? Free for using the fund or using the money provided by the depositor in any project which seems profitable and which is Sharia compliant. Any project. I have mentioned the term any. I have mentioned the term any project, which is, there are two conditions. One condition is it must be profitable and it must be Sharia compliant. So in that case, such kind of Mudaraba deposit is unrestricted Mudaraba deposit. Can anyone repeat what I mentioned? What happens in case of unrestricted Mudaraba deposits? Who is free to select any project? The Mudarib or the Rab al Mal? I have mentioned already. I said that Mudarib or Islamic bank is free to select any project which is profitable and which is Sharia compliant. In that case, the Rab al Mal has nothing to say. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you see Rab al Mal is working here as a kind of very passive partner, not active partner.
Sir, Rabal Mal here is just a financier,
Financier.
unrestricted. Ji. He
Yeah,
has no
financier. But
any
he's
rights
playing.
to take decisions about the business.
Okay. He's playing no kind of no active role, right? He's playing no active role.
Yes, sir. Okay, bro.
Okay. Now see, Mudarib has made loss from a project in which they made investment from the unrestricted Mudaraba deposit account. In that case, who will bear the financial loss?
Sir, in general sense, should bear the loans. Both of the parties should bear the loss.
So what we have learned in Mudaraba deposit agreement?
Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Mudaraba, ji, sir. Mudaraba will not bear any type of money loss, but he will get the profit from the project.
I mentioned the financial loss. Who will
Financial loss.
incur the financial loss? The
Sir,
Rab al Mal or
Rabal Mal.
Mudarib?
Rabal Mal will bear the financial loss, sir.
Will incur the financial loss. Now, if it is proved that such loss happened because of the negligence of Mudarib, in that case, what can happen? The loss might arise from two reasons. In a very basic way, we can explain. One thing is such that the business risk which we expected earlier has actually been realized. In that case, the loss can happen. Okay, so in that case, there is no role of Mudarib. Rather, business risk has played the role. But if the loss happens for the negligence of the Mudarib, in that case, the Rabal Mal can take legal actions against the Mudarib. Am I clear to you up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, next thing is restricted. And now, just asking from you, if it is restricted, can Mudarib has more freedom or Mudarib has less freedom?
So Mudarib have less freedom, sir.
Yes, freedom.
Mudarib has less freedom. Okay, you have got it. So what happens here? So instead of selecting any project which is profitable or Sharia compliant, Mudarib has to select a project which is in the list of specified project. I mean, Rabal Mal and both Rabal Mal and Mudarib in earlier time has mentioned that these are the list of projects in which you can make investment only. You cannot make investment in any project which is out of the list or out of this list. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in that case, you see the projects which have been listed, that project needs money, and the project will use that money from the Mudraba account, and the person who will be responsible for the project, that person will be a party. That person will be a party in a Mudraba restricted deposit, and that person has been identified as a third party. Third party has been identified here. So the person who has the project and who will take the money from the bank, or who will take the financing from the bank. And you see in restricted, and these are specified earlier, that which projects and which parties are eligible to get the fund. So in restricted Mudraba deposits, we have in particular three parties. One party is Mudarib, one party is Rabal Mal, another party is the third party who is responsible for the project. But in unrestricted project, as we do not have any specified list of project, in that case we have only two parties. One party is Rabal Mal, another party is Mudarib. And we like to see in case what are the operational features of Islamic investment deposits. Sometimes we will see that Islamic banks have made enormous profit in some projects, but they do not want to share all profits, I mean excess profit with their depositors or with their rabal mal. So they have the objective that they will make a fund, in which they will keep their excess profit and they will provide regular profit to their depositors, and they will keep their excess profit here. And in later time, when the things do not go well, or in some painful years, in those years, some profits will be taken out from this reserve and will be given to the depositors. And that for this purpose is known as profit equalization. You probably have got familiar with it from your financial accounting course, profit equalization. So the holistic purpose of profit equalization is to smooth profit. Instead of giving half the profit in some years and loss in some years, they prefer to make distribution of profit in this way. So this is known as profit smoothing. And there are some investment deposits in which there is a condition that you need to provide notice before withdrawing your fund. So if customer provide long notice for a longer term, in that case customer is expected to get a higher profit share. However, if it is such case that customer is withdrawing money within a very short notice of time, in that case the profit share percentage will be lower. So these are the some operational features of Islamic investment accounts. And now we like to see what happens in case of Treasury deposit account. In case of Treasury deposit account in Islamic banks, and it is very uncommon. Unfortunately, I found no Islamic bank in our country which provides the Treasury deposit account in to their customers. So it is mentioned that your fund is locked for a certain time period. You will make deposit to a Treasury deposit account and your fund will be locked for a certain period, say 30 days or 90 days. And when the 90 days will expire or 30 days will expire, your fund will be reinvested in another Treasury deposit account, or it will be refunded, or it will be credited to your current account. And it provides a return to the depositors, and its return is comparable to the return of Treasury bills. You probably have learned that government offers Treasury bills for short-term financing of government activities. And in our country, there was a practice that only authorized dealers could invest in Treasury bills. But nowadays, individuals can invest in Treasury bills following some mechanisms and following some rules. And in developed countries, investing in Treasury bills is common. Individuals and both also institutions can invest in Treasury accounts. Now, how the Islamic Treasury deposits is being operated. So there are two ways of maintaining Islamic Treasury deposit. One is Murabaha. Note it very clearly. Over time, when we will get so many, not so many, more few Islamic terms, it is very likely that you will get confused or you will become uncomfortable with the terms because you feel that you are mixing up the terms with one with another. Okay, so remember, firstly we learned about Mudraba. Now we are trying to learn about Murabaha. Okay, so while you are learning here, we are learning here in a way you will see this in different chapter and in different products, but the basic concept is same. Basic concept is similar, but the dimension of explaining the concept will be different. Okay, so you see here we are trying to learn it for the purpose of deposit or investment product. Okay, you'll see later this term for the financing product. Okay, so let's try to understand what happens in case of Mudraba Treasury deposit. People make, I mean the customer here, customer makes deposit in Mudraba Treasury deposit, and Islamic Bank will make, Islamic Bank is one party here in Mudraba Treasury deposit, and another party is customer. Now, what Islamic Bank will do? Islamic Bank will take the money and use the money for purchasing products. For purchasing products from where? For purchasing, it's not a kind of thing that Islamic banks will go to the kitchen market, or will go to the cattle market, or will go to the fish market and buy some fish or buy some cattle and buy some buy some chicken and sell those things at a higher price. You or we should not expect Islamic banks to play such a role. So what Islamic banks will purchase? Islamic banks will purchase some contract. Contract for what? Contract for buy, contract for sell, such thing. Say Islamic banks has bought a contract that after 30 days, I will purchase, or this contract will give me 300 units of cattle. So this is written in a contract. So what Islamic banks has purchased? Islamic Bank has purchased this contract. And now later, say the price of the underlying was 10,000, just for simplicity. Okay. Now, after 30 days or after 60 days, Islamic Bank has found that the units of cattle which is for which it made a contract earlier days to purchase at 10,000 taka is now sellable at 15,000 taka. In that case, Islamic Bank will sell the contract. It is a kind of exchange contract. It is a kind of exchange contract. So that exchange contract will be sold to a person who is actually interested to take the physical delivery of the cattle from the cattle supplier. Am I clear to you? So Islamic Bank is not actually dealing here with the physical commodities or physical cattle or physical chicken or physical fish, but he or it is dealing with a contract of which underlying thing is some physical commodities. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So 10,000 taka product has been sold by Islamic banks at how much? 15,000 taka. Okay. So how much money Islamic banks has made out of this contract from buying and selling? 5,000. Okay. 5,000 taka. And now this 5,000 taka profit will be shared between the Murabaha Treasury deposit account holders and the Islamic Bank. Now there is a condition. The condition is that clients cannot withdraw funds until deposits mature. There is a strict condition. That's why it is known as fixed. For a fixed time, you need to keep your money with the Islamic Bank. And the amount of profit which will be shared between the Treasury deposit account holder and Islamic Bank will be set earlier. And if it is such that Islamic Bank has realized that Islamic Bank will not be able to sell the product at a higher price, in that case, immediately the amount will be refunded. Immediately amount will be refunded. Okay. Now, in case of Wakala fee-based deposit, it is also treasury deposits, but it is a kind of Wakala fee-based. Now, the question is, what is Wakala? The answer is Wakala reflects some agency relation. So you are not a partner here. You are no longer a partner here. You, who is you? You are Islamic Bank. Now you are no longer a partner. Now who is you? You are an agency, and you are agent of who? And of who agent you are acting as a role? The answer is that you are a agent or you are a wakala of Mudraba, sorry, Wakala Treasury deposit account holders. So what is the condition in this agreement? The funds will be invested in this agreement, and instead of sharing profit, the Islamic Bank will receive a fixed fee. Islamic Bank will receive a fixed fee from the entire profit receivable by the Wakala Treasury deposit account holders. So here you see, if the profit is 10,000 or if the profit is 5,000, the fee can be fixed at a percentage, or the fixed fee can be fixed at an amount. Okay, but you see the withdrawal condition is restricted. I mean, you need to keep your treasury deposit. You cannot withdraw the treasury deposit before the maturity or before the time period mentioned by the Islamic bank. So this is all about for savings and investment accounts of Islamic bank. Now, before having a look into some Islamic deposit and current account or investment accounts offered by our local Islamic banks, let's look at what happens to the money supply for the bank deposits. I believe you have learned it from your macroeconomics or from your monetary economics or from your financial markets. So you see that you probably have learned that there is a concept that how can we count money? How can we count money? Is there any way that how much money is right now is in the process of financial system, or how much money is floating? So there is a way that we can calculate that how much money is actually right now held by the people. How much money is held by the people at this moment. So there is a way that has been developed by the macroeconomist. So one such concept is money supply, precisely, and money supply can be defined in terms of narrow money, and money supply can be defined in terms of broad money. So narrow money includes those money which is very liquid, which can be used for immediate transaction, which can be which is indifferent from cash, and that money is known as narrow money. It includes debit card, it includes cash money, it includes coin, it includes such thing. It also includes traveler's check, if I'm not wrong. And M1 is a kind of broad money. Right now there is no M2, M3, M4. Usually there is two terms. One is M1 and M2. So M1 is narrow money and M2 is broad money. So M2 is less liquid, and M2 represents the broad money, which includes the savings account, which includes the investment account, Islamic investment account, okay, and which has a higher velocity, which changes hand very frequently. The answer is narrow money. So if we ask that if we have the current account, Islamic current account, it will be included in M1. And if we ask in which money the Islamic investment account will be included, the answer is M2. Okay. Now there are some cases from foreign Islamic banks, what kind of deposits they provide. You can look at these products. You can get some similarities. And there's a statistic which is very old, based on Sharia compliant assets held by the Islamic institutions in countries. And now we like to see some deposits offered by our own Islamic banks. So you will see the two kind of deposit accounts very common in our country broadly. One is current account, another one is Mudraba investment account. So It is from the term paper submitted by previous cohort in previous semester. And this group has identified that Exim Bank, which is an Islamic bank, has 20 types of deposit scheme, except for Al Wadia current deposits. All are kind of Mudraba deposits. You see, out of 20 type of deposits, they have identified only one deposit is current deposit, and another 19 deposits are Mudraba deposit. Can you recall this term? Can you recall this term from our previous lecture where we mentioned it? Principles of current Islamic current account. Can you recall? We mentioned some basic principle: amana, then Qard Hasan, then wadia. Can you recall? Anyone?
Sir, sir, I cannot remember, sir.
You cannot remember. Okay. Okay, please let me open it from the slide. Okay. Can you recall this slide? We learned about this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You see the wadia?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is here. Exim Bank has used this term in their current account. Where it is? Here. Wadia. Okay. You see some slight difference in spelling, but the thing is same. Okay. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in case of deposit accounts, you will see ultimately this is a Mudraba account, but some additional features have been added. That's why those features have been added in the product name, and that's why the product name has been customized. But actually these are Mudraba account, and the operational characteristics are similar. Operational characteristics are same what we have learned in today's class. Okay. So see Mudraba monthly savings deposit scheme. Got it? You see, this is the additional term which has been added. It is actually Mudraba savings deposit scheme. Okay. Now, why monthly has been added? Because it will require the customer to deposit a certain amount monthly. That's why monthly term has been added to the product name. Okay. So there is actually no difference between a Mudraba account, but you see some characteristic different based on the features. Okay. Now you see Mudraba Shu Grihini monthly savings scheme. You see how it is different from the previous product. This is particularly,
yes, sir. Only female person.
yeah, not for female person. It's for the people who are engaged in housekeeping or who are who take responsibilities for housekeeping or okay. Mudraba Femina monthly savings scheme, Mudraba Senior monthly savings scheme, and so on. You see that they have mentioned, but all goes under the Mudraba financing principle, where the depositor is the Shahib al Mal and bank is the Mudarib. What we have learned? Can you mention which term we used?
So Rab al Mal.
Okay. So what you have learned, Rab al Mal and Sahib al Mal can be used interchangeably. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if any loss occurs, who will bear the loss?
Rabal Mal.
Rabal Mal or Shahibal Mal.
Sahib al Mal will bear the loss. Okay. And you see the profit. Usually there is a contract between the Rab al Mal and the Mudarib that how much profit will be shared between these two groups. But you see that there is no two groups in the Islamic bank in reality. There are so many depositors. So in that case, maintaining or giving them a specific expected percentage of profit is more convenient than mentioning that how much profit will be shared. So in practice, they declare a percentage of profit, and it is expected that it will be revised later when the actual business profit or loss will be calculated. But actually this profit comes from sharing. This profit does not come from a fixed percentage. Okay, it is declared periodically prior to making investment. Okay, and this profit rate cannot vary in any case in conventional bank, but in Islamic bank it might vary. It is mentioned clearly in the agreement. The periodical or declared profit rate might change from time to time based on the investment profit. Okay. Now, later of our course, we will try to learn that how the conventional deposit and the Islamic bank deposit vary, and it will be your term paper also to explore how they differ from how they are different. Okay. Now I'll try to see another bank, that is the Social Islamic Bank, where we'll try to look at the details of a product, say Mudraba deposit scheme offered by the Social Islamic Bank. So they require minimum 5,000 taka or multiple above amount for opening a Mudraba term deposit account. So this Mudraba term deposit account is for a fixed term. Before that term, you cannot withdraw fund. Okay, it is offered for these customers which have been mentioned here. And now, for what purposes this money will be used? These deposits are used for commodities and trading transactions on exchange. Okay. Can you recall that I mentioned about trading on exchange in case of treasury deposits? Okay. Client cannot withdraw deposit until they are matured. And one thing I like to highlight that how Islamic bank deposit and conventional bank deposit are different. The difference should be the loss will be borne by partners. Say Musharaka, which we have not discussed in today's class. In case of Musharaka, is a kind of pure partnership. So if it is a kind of Musharaka kind of agreement, the loss should be borne by all depositors and also bank as a party or as a partner. But it is very unlikely to observe from our Islamic banks that they want their customer to share loss from their investment. And it has been found that depositors get the profit as a guaranteed profit, and the same profit which was mentioned in the very beginning of the year. So it is very likely that people will conclude that as you mentioned this percentage of profit and I'm getting this percentage of profit at the end of year, so what's wrong with the conventional bank? Conventional bank also giving me the same. So there are criticism, there are argument, there are counter argument, and in this course there will be a term paper for you in which you will be assigned to explore each of the bank and their products to understand and to get the question how our Islamic banks are. Okay, so that's all about for today's class. Let me stop the recording here.